Okay, good evening ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to MBTV. My name is Captain Lust. I'm your regular host on the channel. Hold on a second. Oh no, what's happened? We've got no music, I have to play it manually. Production's a little bit late today. We will be sorting everything out. I'm joined by Aaron Wen, who's returned to the stream to cast. How are you doing, Aaron Wen?
Hi, yeah, I'm doing well. Really looking forward to the match tonight.
Tell us a little bit about it, Aaron Wen.
Sorry, what?
Tell us a bit about the match that we're going to be seeing tonight.
What would you like to know? I mean, I'm not really terribly familiar with the teams. We're going to see Wonwokie and Legion. I don't really know too much about the teams. Let's have a look at the... Yes, I think I recognise a couple of archers.
Well, Defenders of Wonwokie is quite an old team. They've been around for a long time. Come back for the ECS, which I'm glad to see, led by Anaconda, playing as Commander SPQR. I don't know if he's happy to be seen by that name, but that is, I believe, the name he goes by these days. If you just have a look at the rosters, there's probably a few players who we're familiar with. They also have players like Farquad, a couple of others. Which servers that we're at on? Just a second.
Farquad's an archer I recognise, I think.
He plays infantry as well, actually.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. British player, he's been around for a very, very long time. Some of the other ones, Horace as well, pretty strong players. Teza, who I believe is Anaconda's brother. I actually really like him as a player. He plays infantry quite a lot, and very, very tough player, very strong. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. I hope he stayed in shape, because it's been a while since Defenders of Wonwokie have been active. This is one of the main reasons I'm looking forward to seeing them in tonight's game. As for Legion, I think they're made up of a few sort of different players. Maybe a couple who played it for Legend, I think, but I'm not sure about that. They've got a few British players like Chaff, Fisk, just I believe Gibby is one of their major players at the moment. They're quite new to the scene, a lot of them. That's one of the reasons that it's interesting that they've got a player like Fisk in, who's more of a veteran. But I think they'll put up a pretty tough fight. I expect them to, at least. They've been playing a lot lately. I know they run things like their own kind of individual tournaments, like little melee tournaments and things like that. They often ask me to stream them at the very last minute, and I say I would love to, but please just give me a bit more notice.
Yeah, it would be great actually if we had a channel where people could just pick up and stream regularly, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that could be something you should set up. But I mean, MBTV tries to be the thing where there's preparation, last minute preparation, albeit. But
yeah,
some kind of preparation, some kind of production value. But yeah, I think a last minute stream would be really great.
Yeah, you give a lot of information to the viewers, so
I do my best.
Helpful to watch your streams.
Speaking of information, we could bring up a few of the stats here right now. Both teams based in Europe, I think. Legion are actually listed as international. Oh, the previous ECS finish is not quite accurate, but we can fix that in a bit. Actually, we'll bring that back up later. And just have a little look at the bracket instead. This is Group B. And, well, why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about the bracket system that we're using for the tournament? For the qualifiers, at least.
Well, for the qualifiers, I think we've got 5 or 6 teams in each group, and one team from each group will go through to the main tournament. That's pretty brutal.
It's quite tough, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's no real other way of doing it, was there? I suppose.
No. There's only a few weeks before the main tournament, so you can only get a few matches in. So this first week we've got 2 matches in each group. So that's 4 of the teams, 2 will drop out. And then next week the 2 teams in each group who haven't played will play the winners from this week. And again, 2 will drop out.
In this group we actually see on the bracket, we've already got Alliance of Destruction have made it through against Espada. They're getting a 60-0 there. Alliance of Destruction, they've sort of gone into hibernation for native. Haven't really been playing it for a long time. I know they're quite active in CRPG, but they've come back in and beaten newcomers Espada 16-0. They're going to go straight through to the semi-final A of this group against Kingdom of Swadia. Are they a team to be feared, do you think? Alliance of Destruction? Russian old power?
I'm not terribly familiar with them, but yeah, well, 16-0 is quite good, isn't it?
Oh god, pretty devastating, yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Well, I think the thing was they just sort of moved over to CRPG, but I don't know if the competition is quite as hot there as it is in native. So perhaps they come back here looking for a challenge. I suspect they're still very much in practice and a dangerous prospect for some of our teams. Are we live now? I think we're going to go live on restart, so best time to run that map intro. Okay, we are now live in the game. Oh, we are now at least. And, well, the first round is underway. We do have 4 infantry for Wonwokie, 5 for Legion. So slightly more infantry base from there. 2 archers on both sides, but the extra horsemen over in Wonwokie. I do believe Godfrey was one of their co-leaders, along with Commander SPQR. They'll be the ones on the horses, doing damage on the Rodok side. I quite like Rodok Sarans as a setup. I think it's actually very, very even, to be honest. I feel like Rodoks have good options all around on this map, and crossbows just work really well. But Sarans have the axes, and perhaps those Cav being slightly stronger could make a difference as well. Although Legion's still only deciding to go for one, which is going to be Rat03. Interesting name. There is another rat in the scene. He used to play for AB, at least. I don't know if there's 2 and 3. I don't know if there's 2, though, and he's gone for Rat03. Maybe he was born in 03. God knows it's possible these days. That would make him 12 years old. That is scary. That's probably what it is. Oh my god.
Is there no age limit on this game?
Probably.
Oh, we've got flags already at the garden.
Garden, that's a lovely name for that. I never really called it that. Makes sense, doesn't it? The
Call it the
vegetable garden, cabbage patch, yeah. There's sort of a lone grave outside the house. I guess maybe that's intended to be a bit of a, I don't know, raised flower bed. Looks like the majority of the Wonwokie players just going to pursue Legion towards the flag around the side. In come the Cav from Wonwokie though. Immediately, Commander SPQR getting a knockdown, and that results in a big hit on Carney. Carney I know to be a pretty good infantryman, but Wonwokie looking quite scary at the moment. They're really closing down their opponents. Harlean takes down Chaff immediately, one of the key players for Legion, and they're just getting overwhelmed right now. Double kill for Harlean, and Wonwokie running away with the first round. It's going to be a whitewash, I think, at this point. 2 Legion players remain. Harlean got his double kill, couldn't make it a triple. Fieta does go down. That's the second kill of Horus in the round, I believe. One of the listed key players for Wonwokie. And there you have it. Absolute domination. Legion just pressed up against the wall and beaten, unfortunately. Well, we have seen this in other streams, in other games. It's very common. Backing off away from a melee fight does get you beaten a lot of the time. Playing passive and running away, it just means you get split up so easily, and you're moving slower as well, so you can do less with movement. Wonwokie really used their aggression and momentum just to completely roll over Legion there, and they completely rolled over them. It wasn't even close. I don't think even they had one player close to dying.
This time they won't get that flag spawn again with the new flag system.
Oh yes, well remembered. Why don't you explain the flag system a little bit to the viewers?
Well, normally you get the chance, an equal third chance of the flags spawning in any of the 3 locations. But now, when the flag has spawned in one location in the last round, you know it won't be that spawn again. So we know it won't be in the garden, it'll either be in the centre or in the graveyard this time.
Okay.
Legion,
it seems
they
like
have to go forward a bit.
Yeah, you can see Legion
Which
already.
they've done, they've covered the centre flag.
Yeah, exactly right. And that makes sense. Wonwokie happy to sit further back, also as a result of that, I feel like, because they know that they've already got the graveyard or the middle spawn covered.
Yeah.
Do you like the change to the system?
I'm not sure it was necessary, and I don't like it because I think it's not obvious, and I'm not actually, from watching the stream so far, I'm not sure that all the teams have taken it on board.
Right. I think that is a concern, definitely. I mean, one thing I want to get added, and this is on one of my very long list of things to do at the moment, is server announcements, which at least say where they're going to spawn, where they can't spawn, just to make it that bit simpler for teams. I think that would resolve a lot of those issues. Hopefully we'll get that set up soon. In the meantime, flag does spawn in the centre, which is a pretty good position for Legion. Wonwokie starting to move into it though, and Commander SPQR has already got that Warhorse, so Legion have to be careful. Chap was at his bow to shoot, but doesn't have much space to do so. In comes Rat. Gibby takes a big hit there early on. I think that's a Javelin from Henrik came in there. And in comes Commander SPQR from the back with his Warhorse, able to make a difference in these team fights. Gets a big hit on was taken. Wonwokie Archer he takes down Gibby at the start of this fight. Sol doing his best to hold on to this flag position. But I don't see many axes here from Legion. I think that could be one thing which is costing them the melee fight a little bit. Down goes Sullivan, and once again we see Wonwokie taking the main advantage. Shikani does pull the first kill here for Legion. Bloody Soul picks up a kill as well. They're not out of it yet, but Rocket does bring down Rat 03. Chaff goes down to Vet Goffrian. Once again, Wonwokie are just taking control of this round. The flag is still higher for Legion technically, but Bloody Soul is the last remaining player. Goes down to Veteran. Once again, Wonwokie just completely dominant in the melee fight. Veteran Red has got up to, or R3D, I don't know, maybe it is R3D. Up to 4 kills already after a couple of rounds.
It took a little longer that time, so maybe Legion are warming up.
Yeah. I think they need to start heating up, if anything.
So now we know the next flag spawn won't be in the middle. It will be at either end.
Well, that's an interesting situation, actually, isn't it? Because it's now completely polarised. It's going to be either score one end of the map or score the other end. Do you just sit on your flag and gamble? Do you move to the middle? There is a little bit of tactical thinking involved. I think as a system it's good, but I would totally agree it's not well enough explained, realistically. Although Legion do seem to understand it clearly. You can see them sitting back here. And the other advantage of it is that, well, the other sort of thing it's got in its favour is that it is set up on all the tournament servers permanently. It's not just for matches. So anyone doing practicing on the servers is going to learn it pretty quickly as well, which most of the teams do. Although I just do feel that it would be better if it was explained a little bit more.
Where or how do you think? Oh, with server announcements.
Yeah. I think that would solve it like really well, to be honest. You just do one at the start of the round, one 30 seconds before the flags, so teams just know where it's going to be. I think that would get rid of most of the issues. I'm not going to force you into an opinion, but do you agree?
I was just thinking that my concern is for newer players and maybe newer teams, and when you're in a match situation and it's quite stressful, you're not necessarily reading the server announcements.
I think when there's 2 in a round, you've got 8 people to pick up on it. You're in TeamSpeak. I think that's.
You think there's a fair chance?
I think you've got it covered, yeah. And ultimately, it doesn't, you know. You can game it to some extent, but still, you've got that random element. So it's not going to completely decide a match just because you don't understand where it's going to spawn. In fact, it's much more important to know the actual flag mechanics themselves, which are horrifically explained in the game and very, very complicated. Far more complicated than that. For the time being, it does spawn over by the Cabbage Patch, and Legion are raising it well into raising it already. Godfrey gets reared up, but that Warhorse isn't going to go down to some standard swords very easily. In comes SPQR with the couch lance. He does seem to be quite devastating actually. Clinical with his shooting, and once again does seem to be going the way of Wonwokie. Gets the double kill here for He. Just up completely unchallenged in this spot. They don't have much of an answer to him at the current time. Going for the hits on Rat, does get dismounted, but Red picks up that double kill in style, going for a 6th kill of the match so far. And Legion just getting crushed.
Yeah, because you would have said that map spawn again was in their favour, the flag spawn, so rather tricky if they can't take it there. Oh,
Yeah.
what are they doing?
Legion go for some aggression right now, and I like this. It's at least switching things up, even if they're not going to switch up their classes. Changing what they're doing is a good idea. I don't know if this is necessarily a good idea now that that's actually started out, but I think they have at least some of the Wonwokie players out of position, so if they can get this melee fight sorted and they can start getting kills quickly, then it will be a great thing for them. The problem is, I think they have too few axes to get any kind of actual damage done really in these melee fights, and that's one of the things which is getting them killed. They are starting to get some kills here though, but Wonwokie SPQR, Commander SPQR does get a double kill right now, and these Cav just being too devastating. They're Warhorse up right now. The Glaive coming out for Henrik, slicing down Fietta, splitting him in two. Bloody Soul and Gibby are the two remaining players for Legion. He finishes off Soul. Gibby goes down to Red. Red takes 8-0 on the set. Very nicely done. And we do go into the first break. So, how do you think they went overall, Aramwe? I mean,
Well,
obviously
yeah.
pretty one-sided.
Obviously, it was very one-sided. It did feel like Legion were warming up. Really liked, like as you say, when they switched it up at the end and decided to go for aggression, and they definitely did better in the last round than previously.
But specifically, I mean, do you feel like it was just Wonwokie playing better and being stronger, or do you think that maybe there's something in the map faction setup? Perhaps Rodox have a bit of an advantage here that could maybe see it through for Legion to get a few more rounds back in the next set?
I guess we'll find out. I mean, maybe they have a team that favours the crossbow setup, but no, I felt they were just not doing as well in each aspect, and but by the final round, of course, like with the horses being tanked up and everything, you have much less chance if you've started off poorly like that. So so the fact that they were doing a lot better then, I think bodes well for the next set.
All right.
I think we'll see Legion coming back a bit.
Hopefully they get a couple of rounds back. It'd be very nice to see at least. And neither of these teams to take part. Actually, no. I think Defenders of Wonwokie, they took part in the previous ECS, but were knocked out in the group stages. Just trying to find out who that was too. Yeah, I think they were knocked out too. Well, a team which has now been asked to change their name. And also Heroes. But that actually they lost to that team by only 9-7, which is a pretty narrow scoreline.
Yeah.
For a team so tough.
Are they pretty much the same members now as they were then?
Yeah, I think they pretty much are. They've all come back. Most of them, I don't. Maybe they might have lost a few here and there, but yeah, for the most part, I think they're very much a similar set of players. And they are very skilled as well, it's got to be said. They're certainly putting on show here.
Yeah.
I think we're going to go live now, so let's get ready to jump back into the game. And then we get Wonwokie currently lead 4-0, playing as the Saranid team against Legion. Currently on donuts. And that's pretty rough. It always is. Not to get anything in the first set. You do feel a bit demoralised. But we have seen teams come back from this multiple times. It does happen. Legion just gotta crank it up a notch, I think, at this point. Interesting to see their class setups, I think, for all of their infantry taking exactly the same setups. So I don't know if they planned that, or if they all just like the same setup. I mean, it's a pretty standard one. They go for the military cleaver, that third Reddox shield and the footman's helmet. But I do know some players like to do different things. Wonwokie got a few more axes in here, and I think that's going to serve them well. I see Polana with one at least. Although, they do have a few scimitars. That seems to be some of their preference. Scimitar's also pretty good against Reddox. Both factions actually have quite papery armour.
Wonwokie have moved all the way around to the graveyard.
Yeah, they're doing an interesting kind of dance at the moment, getting into position. Legion happy to hold the centre, just staying in cover for the time being. Chaff is doing some return fire though. No hits as of yet. I'm a fan of the thought of on a map. I think there's a lot of scope for sort of movement and flanking, but there's always a risk when you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flags in the garden.
Yep. And tell me, Aaron, can flags spawn in the same place in the next set? They can, can't they? I believe they can. It's reset when the set is reset.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. But if
I mean, I don't know for sure, but it would be mad if it didn't.
Yeah, it would be totally mad. Okay. So we have Wonwokie now moving in here in a similar way, but now with a different faction, and they seem to be having a bit of a harder time here. Legion putting up some tough resistance at the top of these stairs and actually driving the Wonwokie players back. Going right down these stairs. I'm a bit concerned they're moving away from their own archers, but they are getting damage done here. Red does get the first kill there, and a double kill there for Red. Getting damage done here. Pilana takes down Viking too, and Red wants blood. He's going for that triple against Bloody Soul. Legion are still getting kills in though. It's 4 against 5 for the flag defenders. Fieta and Bloody Soul are a bit overwhelmed over here though, I think. They need support from their teammates, Sullivan and Rat, who is going to move in right now. Soul and Fieta doing a hero's job of staying alive here, but the Rat gets reared up. Fieta does go down eventually. Soul does get a kill though. He's got low health, but he's keeping players busy for a very long time. Although Rat does go down, Soul does go down. Now Sullivan's got 50 seconds to stay alive on that flag, and I think splitting up at the end there for Legion has cost him this round. Sullivan will do what he can. He has got himself, actually a soldier's cleaver there, I believe. No, it's a military cleaver. No, it's a soldier's cleaver. And Farquhar finishes him off for his third kill of the round, and nice play by Farquhar there, getting damage done with that bamboo spear. And yeah, right at the end there, Legion sort of split up. They abandoned some of their players and left some on the flag, which honestly seemed like should have been their second priority in that situation. I think that might have cost them the round a bit as well, because Fieta and Bloody Soul did a hero's work, really.
Yeah, they stayed alive against large odds for a long time.
I mean, the result of that should have been that their teammates were able to support them, but they didn't really seem interested in doing that. Rat had an unfortunate pass-through where he just got reared up straight away. Was a much better round though for Legion. They looked much more lively there. And it's almost, you know, it's pretty tough in a way. It's quite a sad thing to see because you can tell this is a team which has been training hard, working hard. If they go out now, that's their only match in the tournament. Might have to think about organising some other things for teams that didn't quite make it into the ECS. It's a very, very exclusive tournament. 12 invited teams, 4 qualifiers, with 24 applications for those qualifiers. Ruthless.
Oh, I mean, we did have an unexpectedly large number of applications for the qualifiers. It's lovely to see so much interest.
It is.
Competitive game.
I mean, the scene just seems to be growing even now. It's bizarre, really.
But yeah, it has to be fairly brutal to get those 24 teams down to 4. So yeah, it would be nice to have something to keep the other teams, the teams who are left out, going for a while. Maybe somebody can organise something.
But we shouldn't be too down on it because Legion are not out yet. They're down 5-0, but they will not go down without a fight. I wouldn't have it, and I wouldn't believe it.
They've had the flag spawn under their feet.
Yeah, centre the map. But they don't want to take a defensive approach. They're going right for the aggression here, down this alleyway. My concern is that their horseman is just so far away. So far away, fighting elsewhere on the map, but it should be here. They are getting kills though. Chaff, Gibby, and Wonwokie getting beaten up in this alleyway. Farquhar gets a kill back though, and so does he. But Bloody Soul and Fietta seeing it through here for Legion. I feel like Legion are going to get their first round here. 6 players against the 4 remaining for Wonwokie. And we do have, well, Archer Rocket just running for his life for the time being. Henrik is dismounted. And he's going to have to back off now as well. Wonwokie are trying to pull it together. As in, wow, he's found a space to get a kill there somehow. I don't know where he's done that from. But he completely takes out what was taken. And Commander SPQR here doing a bit of damage as well. Wonwokie Archer Rocket gets a kill here, and now it's 4 against 4. Legion, they're not throwing it away, are they? No, don't tell me it's happening. Chaff is under a lot of pressure right now. He's got no shield left, and he is receiving archer fire. He does manage to pick up a kill on Henrik though. Commander SPQR is dismounted now, which does relieve some pressure off of Legion. Those 2 archers are still a problem remaining though. Flag is high for Legion. Bloody Soul's going to stay on that and keep that advantage. While Viking moves over to Rocket and forces him into melee. Chaff does finish off Commander SPQR, but the first kill on the flag comes from Wonwokie. One of their 2 remaining players. He takes down Viking. And all of the Legion players need to get here. Chaff cannot just be shooting right now. He doesn't have time to shoot. Does not have time. I think that Legion are going to get the round anyway because they do have just enough time. Bloody Soul stays alive on there. The round's going to end, and I think Legion are going to take this. But I think Wonwokie had a good chance there. Fietta does take down Rocket now. Archie, he is going to stay alive. Maybe. Just stays alive from brilliant blocking in the last second and does keep his gear. Almost made me look very stupid, but does stay alive. And really a tense round there. It is a fact that when a round ends and players from both teams, both sides are still alive, it does mean that either they were saving gold or they weren't aggressive enough. I can't help but feel in Wonwokie's case, they weren't aggressive enough. They should have recognised that the flag was too low for them and made more of an aggressive move instead of just shooting. Obviously they were outnumbered, so it's a difficult situation, but in that melee fight, I think they could have perhaps swung it if they'd moved in there instead of just shot. Nevertheless, was great shots from their archers before that.
Well, teams have met up already. They're not waiting for flags.
Yeah, Wonwokie gone for aggression here, and it's paying off already, I think. Chaff does get the first kill, but Farquhar takes down Fietta. Red brings down Viking, and Wonwokie just looking like they've got full momentum in this fight. Bloody Soul's got no support remaining. He's just fighting against a 1-on-2. Hallian brings down Gibby, and Wonwokie, as we saw in the first round, rolling over their opponents. The second kill comes from Chaff. Does get that headshot. But once again, Legion backing away from a melee fight, getting butchered. And it is 6-1 to Wonwokie, the score in the match right now. Now into the final round of the first map. Force of Honor. It's been very, very one-sided so far. Legion just on 1 round. And getting this last round for Legion will give them an infinitely better chance, really. They can't back off from this fight. They just cannot afford to do the same thing again. They're a bit more set up now this time. They've got archers there, but wow, they're going to get overwhelmed, I think, if Wonwokie keep pushing forward. In comes the cav from Wonwokie, immediately couch dancing Viking there. Brilliant play from Commander SPQR. Fiesta does pull a kill back, though, and it's still fighting in this. Oh, nice play from Gibby, actually, here. Is keeping those archers busy and turning this fight around a little bit. Hallian and Plana are getting kills. Wonwokie with the advantage. SPQR takes down Sullivan in the meantime. Rat doing what he can, but he's away from the main fight. Bloody Soul doing the work of 3 men right now. Rat brings down Hehe, but he's got to come out and support his teammates right now. Gibby, Chaff, Rat, the remaining players for Legion. Only 3 against the 5 of Wonwokie. Can they do this? Chaff gets a nice shot there, but he's got to get into melee here. He can't afford to just stay away from this fight. Gibby gets a kill, though. And Rocket is going to cause some problems, but he's going to get caught up in melee soon, I think. Chaff loses shield. Loses life now to Henrik. Gibby, the last remaining player. No health left. Does go down. And Wonwokie take the first map. 7-1 against Legion. Now, we did see Legion do better. They cannot be denied. They put up a much stronger fight there. But still, it's very, very one-sided at the moment. We're going to have to see a big change, I feel like, here. From Legion.
Got that second round. Showed they could do something, but then Wonwokie just pushed straight in and used there. It does look like they have an advantage, doesn't it?
They just seem to be a bit more competent in it. I mean, there are individuals from Legion who are doing great. Bloody Soul especially looks very strong. And Fieta getting some good work done in melee as well. But it seems like the overall standard of infantry play that we're seeing from Wonwokie right now is that little bit higher, you're right, and it's making the difference. One thing I suspect is I think we're seeing Chaff here playing as Archer, and possibly Gibby. And I think Gibby might be playing as infantry. I'm not sure, but they seem to be 2 of the key players here, or at least supposed to be the key players. If we bring up the key player list, so Gibby and Chaff here, and I wonder if they would just be better off in melee, having them all in melee, because that is really where they seem like they're lacking quality a little bit right now. And honestly, as archers, while they are getting the shots off, in the situations that we're seeing, where it's just intense, fast melee fights, archers can't make that much of a difference. They just don't have the time to do it. So it often does help to put your best players in melee.
Well, if they can play melee, archers aren't always the best melee players.
Not always, but oftentimes these players will have a lot of experience playing in melee, and you know, if they're the players who are putting in the time to the game to get good, it might be worth sort of encouraging them at least to practice some of that time in melee. If we just take over the bracket here and just have a little look at what that would mean. If Wonwokie go ahead and beat Legion, then they will go into the semi-final against Fearless. I mean, playing like they are as well, I feel like Wonwokie would beat Fearless. Based on what we saw of Fearless before in previous tournaments, they played in WNL before, I think. Simply based on that, I would back Wonwokie to then go on and actually go towards the final. Against Alliance of Destruction, though, well, it's a different kettle of fish, because they just seem to be very, very scary looking, I think. Coming back from CRPG to this native. They got some excellent veteran players, and Shawnee Voron, one of my old favourites from KHR, playing in there as well.
The final, they're both going to be wanting that place in the main tournament. It's going to be a good one to watch.
Yeah, very, very intense. It should be. And that'll be an exciting week all round, because that's happening in 4 different groups that struggle just to make it into the tournament, just to make it into the ECS. I suspect the teams which qualify might have a little bit of an edge on some of those invited teams as well. Maybe even a lot of them.
Because they'll have had the practice of these 3 weeks fighting their way in.
Yeah, certainly that. But also the fact, I mean, The invites were done based on tournament results, but I don't know if, you know, I think they were still sort of done arbitrarily, essentially, and I suspect they may not have realised Wonwokie were active, for example. Wonwokie didn't play in the last WNL, so they, or did they? Maybe they didn't, I'm not sure actually now. But maybe they didn't get a very good result, so they weren't invited, but the reality is they actually might be playing pretty well. Same with Alliance of Destruction. They've been over in CRPG, perhaps they weren't expected to play, or, you know, they didn't feel like they justified an invite because they haven't been playing in native, but it results in them being a qualifying team rather than an invited team, but actually one which could be quite devastatingly strong. We'll see exactly how it plays out though. Not to slight the invited teams in any way, who all look very, very strong and scary. Looking forward to this Reverend Village as well. Reverend Village has been in the scene for a very long time, as long as Sandy Bush. But it's a map which I do like, made by Archer originally. You are seeing it in the background right now as part of our new production, slowly moving behind the scores and maps.
Yeah, it's lovely new screens you've got up here, and I think it's a good reminder for all the viewers to see the upcoming map in the background.
Yeah, I think it's quite nice. It's a bit more relevant than just a sort of particle effect, isn't it? Yeah, I quite like it. I think we're going to be going live on Restart as well, so I'm going to run that map intro. Okay, we are now into the game.
Only 2 cav for Legion.
Oh, I can't help but feel it's a mistake. We'll see how it plays out. But 4 from Wonwokie, that makes perfect sense to me. Swadia versus Serenade. I mean, Swadia have got the cav to do it as well. 3 at least, I would think, on a map like Reverend Village. We've seen something tactics like 4 cav, 4 infantry work pretty well in here, and it's actually a map which can be played 6 cav as well, though it is one of the more closed maps. Does have some very open flags. Nevertheless, they do have a nice Corsair, which I do like. May not have the sturdiness, but Bloody Soul plays it well, get some damage done. Another one, Rat, playing as cav, using his Hunter. I wonder, actually, maybe it is the Rat from AB. I don't know, it might be the same one. Legion are an interestingly formed team. Unfortunately, they are missing a player actually. Who could have made a bit of a difference in the melee fight. Certainly, Fisk, very, very strong duelist and infantry player. If he was present, he might have given them a bit more hardiness in that respect. So an unfortunate absentee for them. Flag does spawn over by the church. Oh, early kill comes in for Wonwokie there. Actually a cav on cav couch lance. That course is going to be riding riderless now for the time being. I don't know where that happened.
No, I missed that.
I wasn't able to find it either. Wonwokie now just moving in with their cav and looking to cause trouble on this flag. Using their cav to actually keep the crossbows busy as well. It's often a nice move. Even though they can get taken down and they are a bit more vulnerable, it does keep them busy, at least for the infantry to get into position. The lack of cav does mean that Legion have a bit more infantry oomph here though, and that could be something which works in their favour. That takes down Ritter as well, so Legion's starting to pick up a little bit. They do back off from the flag. They don't want to get crossfired, and they are wary of standing in the open. They don't want to stay there too long. But a team kill there from Horace on Pilgrim. And now Legion are actually in with a player advantage. They don't want to let that flag slip away from their grip, though. They have to start making a move there, which they do. and start driving onto the flag, but immediately that opens up their rear for SPQR, who takes down Gibby. Was taken, getting bumped there as well, finished off by Farquaad. Henrik takes down Chaff. Kind of doing what he can, but when Legion moved out of away from their corner, they're just getting absolutely wrecked right now by Wonwokie. And Commander SPQR is bump slashing like an absolute pro right now. Picks up a double kill. Wonwokie, King Commander SPQR, I should say. And as a result of that, Wonwokie do take their 8th round now and prime to win this match through what has been essentially domination so far. Legion do take an extra cav. They recognise the need for it. Gibby is going to mount up, but it might not be his most comfortable class, and they're going to miss out on one of their better infantrymen there as well. Legion are giving crossbows to their cav. I don't know if Gibby's taken one, having just switched, but Bloody Soul and Rat are opting for that mounted crossbow little tactic there. Something which I do quite like. Ritter playing for Wonwokie as well. Ritter means knight in German. A little bit of trivia for you there. Knight as in knight in shining armour rather than starry knight.
Nigget.
Nigget, that's it. Although that makes absolutely no sense as a phonetic pronunciation at all.
It's Monty Python pronunciation.
Yeah. I do like Monty Python. I was looking at the achievements for Warband. Oh, go ahead. I don't know. Sometimes it does. It does irk me a little bit.
Oh, a bit dated now, maybe.
I mean, it's not that there's anything wrong with geek culture, but it's just such a huge staple of geek culture now that I do cringe a little bit when I see there's so many references, and I mean, the achievements for Warband, obviously a perfect game, but the achievements are just, there's so many Monty Python references in there, and it's just like, I'm just rolling my eyes. Like, really? But no, I do love some of the films. I think are great. Flag spawns in the marketplace, in front of the church rather than behind, not out of sight of the clergy. And Wonwokie tends to, they don't want to move forward. Neither do Legion. Both teams playing very, very passive. Just trying to shoot or something. I mean, there's 2 infantry here for Legion. They're not doing anything right now. They should be moving. They should be thinking about what they want to do. I mean, are they just waiting for their cav to get in position before they move on? I suppose they probably are. But I mean, someone's got to start raising it sooner or later. First kill comes in from Ritter. Takes down Chaff. That's one of the rangers for Legion gone down, removing their crossfire potential. Just Sullivan left here at the bucket, or barrel, whatever it is. Alright, Wonwokie is starting to raise the flag now, and Legion just can't wait any longer, unless they just want to lose, because they've just given Wonwokie a free higher flag now, for no reason. And they don't have much time left for this fight to play out. There's so many Wonwokie players left. I find it hard to believe they're going to be able to take down 8 of them. 40 seconds left in the round. They could do it if they start now. First kill does come in though for Wonwokie of the engagement as Horace picks off Bloody Soul, and he's got such a great spot there. Nice kill though from Sullivan. Team kill from Fieta, but Horace up in his perch, being completely unchallenged right now, just shooting at Legion players. Missing a bit of a sitter there, to be honest, but actually, well, interesting now. Wonwokie have moved off the flag, and it's now even. If Legion, if Warband can stay alive on the flag, he can't. He had 10 seconds. He could have stayed alive there on the flag and got the draw. It would have meant the loss of the match anyway, but could have been something at least to be resolved. Wonwokie take the 9-1 win, and that's the end of the match. They will be going through the semi-finals now, and well, there you have it. What is to be done about that, Aaron Wynn?
Well, Wonwokie were looking very strong. They deserved that win. Legion did warm up. I felt from the first round it looked like it would just be a total whitewash all the way through, didn't it? But they did warm up. They showed that they can do something.
Yeah, as opposed
But not enough.
as opposed to absolutely nothing. Is that what they were doing at in the first map? Yeah, I mean the thing is, I don't even feel Legion played too badly overall. Anyway, really, I just think Wonwokie just looking way sharper, more experience. They got more quality in the team, and Legion just got a bit overwhelmed there. I think perhaps they had more of an opponent than they were expecting.
Yeah, and as you said, with one of their main imps missing, and apparently not having the cav really for the open map.
Yeah, that definitely seems to be the case, didn't it? I don't think it was. I mean, as you said, not having the cav, I think was the case rather than a tactical decision. But maybe that's something they can work on. Cav is a very hard class to play well. I am mystified and impressed when people can play it well, always. But maybe they'll be able to develop that a little bit in the future.
Yes, something to work on.
As it stands, Wonwokie do go forward to the semi-finals, and if we bring up the bracket here, they will be facing off in Fearless in that semi-final B after their win today.
Be an interesting match for next.
Yeah, I think it might be a whitewash, but maybe it will be interesting. We don't know. What will be very interesting.
Interested in all the matches.
Yeah, obviously. But I think the final of that group could be very interesting indeed. I mean, who do you root for? Is it the CRPG players that turn their back on native? Is it Wonwokie?
Not.
But their old strength though, which is one of the great things about them. This shows the power of ancient times in Warband, which I like as well as in sort of an old man of the game.
Yeah, I suppose it's always nice when players come back, when they return to the game.
Yeah, that's good. But Wonwokie, I've got a lot of space in my heart for them as well. A lot of British players, which I like for whatever reason. It doesn't really make any sense. And some of my friends as well. Having Anaconda in there, who I've played with in the past. I always like to see him do well. And it's great to see him so committed to the game as well. He's been here for a long time as well. Really, it's hard to call him anything other than an old man of the game. Although he's a very young man. I don't know. Are we going to be able to get an interview here? Let's see if we can. It would be nice to just speak to a few people from Wonwokie.
IG Osiris has just said in chat that you're just jelly that CRPG was cool.
CRPG was cool.
Apparently.
I don't really, don't know what's cool about CRPG, but probably something, maybe.
I never played it, so I can't comment on that.
I can't even remember if I played it. I lied so much about playing it, saying that I played it. I don't know if I actually ever did play it, but I don't know.
Why would you say that?
I always lie about that kind of thing. I lie. I say, oh yeah, I played that. I didn't really like it. I said that. I said the same thing about Chivalry. I never played Chivalry. Everyone obviously knows now because I said it on stream.
But why?
Because I feel like I should have played it. Like it's kind of you can't just not play it if it's such a big important thing. But I just don't. I'm not interested in it. I don't think we're going to have an interview.
Yeah, were they playing out the final rounds? So.
Okay, so we'll probably just leave it there. I would like to say, from my part, thank you very much, Aaron, for coming and streaming with me.
Yeah, thank you for asking me. It's always fun.
The shame the match wasn't a little bit more exciting, but I still think it was great to see Wonwokie strutting their stuff and looking tough.
Yeah, and it's also, as we said, there's 24 clans signed up for the qualifiers, and it's good to see how they all perform, what there is around in the scene, the competitive scene at the moment.
I think a lot of scary looking teams, to be honest.
Yeah, and hopefully we can do something for them to keep them interested.
Yeah, I mean they'll always be playing their own games and setting up scrims as well. But there's a lot more to it when there's the sort of storyline element of a tournament, and it's more like a campaign. It's a big effort. It's a project for a clan, isn't it? It's a great thing.
A reason to sort of up your game a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the end of the line of the ECS, at least for Legion, but I'm sure that we'll see them fighting in the future. Arwen, do you have any shout-outs to make?
Oh, I do, yeah. Actually, we've already had 3 streams this week because while you were away doing your lovely Turkish thing, Volcom stepped up and did 3 streams in the weekend, which was absolutely great of him.
Beautiful.
And I also want to mention Dictator, who's been refereeing and has refereed 3 matches this weekend, and one of them he stepped in with about 30 seconds to go. So
nice.
Absolutely brilliant.
It's
just wonderful to have that sort of commitment from people who are using their playtime to make other people's matches happen. That's really great. And then we've got 2 happy birthdays this week. Cybrand's birthday a few days ago, and so Pembley happiness to him. And yours is coming up on Wednesday, so I hope you have a really lovely day on Wednesday.
No, please,
and a nice big cake.
No, I wish you'd warned me about this. No.
Pembley happiness to you.
Not appropriate. Yeah, fantastic. I have a couple of shout-outs of my own. First, I want to say thank you to the viewers, everyone who came and watched the match. Great to see you all back for the ECS, and I'm really looking forward to the tournament as it progresses. I think we're going to have a lot of great games, so do keep tuning in. Thanks to Game Servers for being our sponsor. You can see them up on the screen there for the Germany servers. And thanks to Wolfpack for being the provider for this match, which was played on the French servers, which they donated, so thanks very much to them. Other than that, I'd just like to say thanks to all the admins and referees for doing the tournament. I think ECS is looking like it's going to be a great time, and I'm excited about it. So thanks everyone, and good night. Say good night as well, Aaron. Go on.
Oh, good night everyone.
Good night.
Nosta.